Hey folks, Dr. Groovy, Scott Grove from GroovyMusicLessons.com here to do the 6-string banjo thing and show you a new way, better way to get this thing done and make it sound convincing. Okay, here we have the old Dean models that you can pick up for like $100, $150 all day long. Okay, if you've got one of these laying around, it doesn't play worth a crap. I already know that. One thing, first of all, you go to that bridge, and as soon as this focuses like they need to, notch yourself out some places for the strings to run through, because they don't do that for you. So notch them out so they have a place to stay, so they won't pop out. Okay, the other thing is, yes, we can set it up real easy. There's a little screw inside there. You just undo it and your neck actually goes up and down, so you can adjust your action perfectly. So don't worry about it, we'll do that, and I'll show you how to make it electric for $3 at the end of the video. No, you don't hand me $3. You pay $3, get the parts, stick them in, literally, and you're done. But today we're going to talk about actually how to make these sound like a banjo instead of a horrible sounding guitar. Okay, when these come to you, they come with a set of either 11 or 12 gauge acoustic guitar strings on them, and that's great, you know, whatever's groovy. You can use those, and I would highly suggest that you do for this reason. Okay, if you put on a regular set of acoustic strings like it comes with it, it's going to sound like garbage. You do not want these notes. I got my trusty Rain Song acoustic over here for demonstration. You don't want A and low E on a banjo. They don't have them. It stops at D, and then there's a high G string. Okay, looking to keep my pick to sticking. Okay, I will try to put that down while I'm doing. No, I won't. Anyway, I'm going to show you, like it says in the description or the title, what is called the high strung or high string or the Nashville tuning. Even though there's no tuning, this will still be tuned exactly like a guitar. Okay, so what we do is grab a set of 12-string acoustic, guitar strings, and 11 or 12 gauge. What you do is take out the 6 regular strings that would go on your acoustic. Isn't that beautiful? Gotta love carbon graphite when you got the black ice top here on the Rain Song. Best guitar ever made, as far as acoustics, as far as I'm concerned. So you save a set of those strings for your next acoustic thing, but you take the other 6, which none of them are wound. They're all non-wound or plain strings. You're like, why can't I just order a set? You can, but you can get this for cheaper and have a set of acoustic strings laying around. Okay, and what you do is take those other 6 strings and you put them on in the order that they were in the packages. So these are just the octave strings or the unison strings from the 12-string set. So on your acoustic, high E on here, high E, acoustic, B here, B. On the acoustic, here's the octave string from that. On the banjo, acoustic, here, the octave string, acoustic, here, octave up, and this low E here, which will be the same as your. Okay, so I get to put that guy over here to the side. And what the magic thing is you don't have any of those low notes anymore. Everything, again, like I said, is tuned the same, but it doesn't sound like it. Here it is, straight through. Okay, you're like, that's normal tuning? Yes, it is, just like I showed you on the guitar. So here's G. Does not sound like a banjo. You could tell that it's going to, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But the main thing is to show you how to make it sound more like a banjo now that I've got you a way to physically finally get it there. and that's by using all unwound strings and these weird octave things that seem to make no sense, but if you take them out of a 12-string set, then maybe it makes more sense to you if you have played a 12-string. Okay, the main thing that makes a banjo sound like a banjo, other than the head, of course, and the old, that always makes it sound like a banjo. And, or, what's it? Oh, like this. I can do it.
Squeal, squeal.
Yeah, that's me. I got too many Deliverance movies. I got those pig sounds down, though, buddy. So if anybody wants to look me up on Craigslist under private encounters, yeah, I kind of do the bacon thing. Just my deal.
Faster, yeah.
Anyway, so the banjo, the main string that gets played is that 5th string that's stuck right here at the 5th fret. It's like, but you always got that droning G thing, especially if you're in G. But wherever you go to, if you're up here, you know, it's always in there. So that's what makes the most sense, is you got to get that string in there. How do you do it? You take the G string off of a 12-string set and you put it right in the middle, because it's not going to matter here in a second. The way to make it sound more banjo-ish is to simply pick the strings individually throughout the chord. What does that mean? Again, more stickiness for the pick. It helps for a little bit, but then when you go get your other nylon one with the grip stuff on it, even better, but I didn't see one over there. So, anyway, if you're playing, say, a G chord, okay? Okay, so if you're just playing along with them, okay, do something more like that. If it's a nice open song, it's easy, and it's just lifting a couple notes off and just putting it back on. That's plenty for rhythm, okay? And if you're just vamping in the back, you can then go. Okay, nice and staccato type of thing. And of course, banjo players wear thumb pick, 2-finger picks. I might do that if I'm home recording or something, but if I go live, then I just don't. I just finger pick this, and it's fine, okay? No huge deal. You use a little bit top end, and what happens to that? You had a little high end back on. So yeah, you use a little highs, lose a little highs, turn it back in, and the EQ sounds damn fine. You don't miss it in the mix, you really don't. And if you don't play with that stuff anyway, nothing to lose. If you do, great, if you got the time to do that. You get people like Keith Urban's band is a great example, because there's 3 people in the band that bring out some sort of a banjo during the shows. So Keith does it, and another guy does it, another guitar player, he brings out a 6-string, as does Keith, and then there's one guy that actually, like mine up here, the 5-string conventional, is a real banjo player. So the other guys, they sit around and they have all the low strings still on theirs, but you'll see like Keith just stay on the high E and the B string and just like, you know, that kind of stuff. So makes it easy, but any other strings he would hit would sound too low to sound like a banjo. It's just, when they did this, they didn't tell you to do it with this particular string arrangement. It was just a bad idea. Okay, so we're here to make it better. Okay, so if you go to play with 3 fingers doing finger picking, I got that right there on the G string. That's nice. So right there, much more convincing way instead of... Okay, just grab a string or whatever, but your thumb could be moving everywhere, and your fingers could be moving everywhere just to grab different notes. Okay, so if you're gonna... Okay, so that's just no finger picking. That was just boom dap, boom dap, boom dap, and I did a couple hammer-ons. Okay, but there was no finger picking. Just thumb, two fingers, thumb, two fingers. I never went, you know, like a 3-note triplet. I just did 1 and a 2, a thumb and 2 fingers. Add a couple of those things in. Now if you actually finger pick, which is thumb, middle finger, first finger. I'm going to do it in the D string, B string, G string. Thumb, first. I'm sorry, thumb, middle, first. So thumb first. Can you do it the other way? If whatever you want, because the strings sound all cattywampus, but this is the main picking thing. The other thing we played before, if you want to do the back of your hand, like that's called frailing. So if you want to play with your hand, the back of your fingernails, that's a legitimate way of playing banjo with frailing. You don't need picks, so people will think you're doing something correct because people are going to frown at you because you got a 6-string thing. Okay, so again with the finger picking right there, play it now however you want after that. So if you're down here playing these low strings, supposedly, you get a whole different thing than you do on the high ones if you're playing the high 3. So you're like, what can I do? Not much on the high strings. But if you go to the low strings and do your typical... A cool one to use is right here. Okay, that's fretting at the high E at the 3rd fret and doing the B string chromatically. So you can even go like this with your frailing or use a pick. See. So that's what a pick sounds like, but it's a good little lick. But it's not a lesson, we'll get past it. These, we'll turn it into a little bit of a lesson. Okay, go to A, just like this. Now we're going to go just your middle finger to the 3rd fret on the B string, and then your pinky up to the 5th fret. Okay. Okay, so we're doing thumb, middle finger on the B, first finger on the G string. Okay, so we're going to put the 2nd finger, which is your middle finger, on the 3rd fret of the B string. And then put the pinky up here at the 5th. Okay, so you got and finally you could do the whole. Okay, and it's great if you do it on the D string, because you got that whole section. So it sounds great when you want to get banjo licks up here. There's a D chord. Okay, so anything you could do to make it sound more banjo-ish, or however you need it to sound within whatever you're doing. So there's all those different ways, but the main thing being high strung, high string, whatever, again, 12 string set, keep the regular acoustic set, put these on here. Okay, I told you I would show you make this electric for $3. I have the piezo pickups that are used as doorbell buzzers, and in older electronic drums as sensors. Okay, you'll see by looking at this now, if you look under the bridge, there are 3 of them. You buy these for 25 cents each on eBay. They've got a hot and a cold wire coming out of there. Just put them all together and they peel off a thing and it sticks under there. So it's on the back side of the head. So you just take, these things off and just pull the back of this off, get in there and put them right under where your bridge is going to be, because that's like where a regular piezo would be on anything else. I know it looks like some dude that's not happy or sad. And as we all know, if you put a pickup up close to the neck, you're going to get more bottom end response. So with that being so bright, when I was testing it, I decided, well, I might as well just hook up 2 more. So I put them up here where you'd get a little more bottom end out of it, and it just cured it up just right. And they're all just hooked together, twisted, and then electrical tape around them. But so for $1 each, you get all those. And then actually one of them back here was already pre-soldered to an output jack. That was 50 cents. Okay, so you bought 4 and $1, then you bought each. So there's $1 and then 50 cents. So yeah, $1.50, half the price. But get more, because sometimes the wiring tends to fall off, and replacing it or soldering it back on is futile. It will not happen. So get twice as many as you need. As long as you get them there the first time, you're all right. Okay, and what did I do to make it plug-inable? Boom. You're like, why? Because I put in one of those 90-degree cables, and besides, you need all the stuff here on the side, and you can't get to it. So I just put it there, and it'll be right there behind me, like this. So it's out of my way, goes right up past the strap through there with the right angle plug, and you're good to go. I do run it through a processor first though, and that's strictly to give it more of an acoustic sound. So I use an acoustic processor and put it on like a jumbo body instead of like a triple O Martin, or so I'll just put it on a big Gibson J200 setting and add a little verb. No compression, leave that out of there. It sounds squirrely on a banjo. So if you're doing your multi-effects things, don't use a compressor. That's the only time I'll ever say that. But yeah, it screws this up royally because it needs to jangle. I play slide on this thing and everything in this tuning. But there
Faster. Yeah.
you go. I hope that helps some of you. And again, there is, when you come in here, there's a bar that goes all the way through here that I actually taped all my tape to from doing this. But if you unloosen it, the deck on these things actually raises it up and down. So you unscrew it, just one hand turn, and you can actually take the neck, pull it up, push it down, just keep it strung just like it is. You don't have to do anything. Just take the back off and push it up a bit till it looks like it's going to play right. Tighten it up a little bit, play it. If it don't play good enough, raise it again until everything's fine. That's it. And then you have your truss rod to just straighten it out if you need to. But guitars should be made this way. Some are. Some actually are. That where you can undo one little thing and put the flipping fingerboard, the whole neck, up and down where you want it, because your saddles are all the way down or all the way up. I mean, that's the way. I like it. So I hope you found this useful. And again, high-strung guitars done just like this. So if you had a 12-string guitar, you take the 6 regular ones off and you play slightly different versions of what you were playing on a recorder. Put regular acoustic on right side, put your high-strung guitar on the left side. People have been doing this for a decade, 5 decades, 20 decades, you know, since time began. It's an old hillbilly Nashville thing, but it sounds amazing. It's like, well, why don't you just use a 12-string? Because it's 2 different tracks, one side and the other, and gives you a total different experience, and it's not dead on the same part. So it sounds like what it is. It sounds like 2 different guitar parts that are acoustic, and it sounds amazing. So record that way too. Okay? So always do this to your 6-string banjos, and they will sound 1,000 times better than the way they tell you to. Okay? Because there's not one company out there that will tell you to string it like this. We all have to tune them the same, but if we use different gauge strings, which I use 12 gauge set of 12 strings, and you're like, well, what are all the gauges? Just buy a 12-string set and use every other string on here. That's all you gotta do, or go look it up yourself. I'm not your I'm not your mama. Anyway, so thanks for checking everything out. Don't forget to subscribe, share, hit the little bell down there, and tickle my taint before you get out
Faster. Yeah.
of here. All right, be groovy.
Who's taking the Banjo here?
Perfect.
Damn bridges down. Yes, sir. Come on, squeal. Whee! Whee! Whee!
Later, kids. Okay, they have